I don't know what their order of releases was though.
Okay. It's the second Castle Finn release. He wrote this song for a very close friend who passed away unexpectedly. R.I.P. That sucks to hear. We spoke a lot about our past lives together and considered each other family. The song references Native American spirituality. He was of the Lakota tribe. This song is equal parts grief and celebration of a life well lived.
Cool.
Well, that's very wholesome to hear, and I can't wait to hear it. We have Castle Finn. Looks like a guitar treading some water here. When I See You Again. Without further ado, let's play it. And Enrique, let me know if the audio is working, okay? And chat. It's funky. Super clean sounding too.
Yeah.
Open your mind with a breath and a step outside. Don't be afraid to close your eyes. No, don't fear what it is you find. Walk in the light till you get to the fireside. I know it'll be alright as you step into the night. When I see you again.
Oh,
like that background guitar.
Yeah. Nice tambourine.
Nice guitar tone. A little bit like Western almost.
Yeah, like a Tahiti.
The thought of losing you rings the years from my eyes. What am I without you? What am I?
Ooh, silky right there.
Surely not the same. You know I ain't the same. If you're gonna go changing shame, oh no, you buy that face. When I see you again,
I do like that crunchy
when
guitar.
I see you again, when I see you again, when I see you again, when I see you.
Wow.
Oh shit! Okay, I thought he was gonna. I cut him off last time, so.
Yeah.
Woo! Castle Finn, everybody.
Nice.
When I See You Again.
Cool.
Yeah. R.I.P. to his friend there that he was talking about in the song. That was a jam. I was expecting something more somber, but that was like a jam.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
I think
groovy.
his description made sense with it. It was yeah, it's a good jam, good groove,
Yeah,
good
dude.
song.
Yeah, it's making me repeat it. It's catchy.
It's also
Uh,
something that I feel like I want to see live. It's like one of those kind of songs that's a chill summer festival vibe type thing. It's sort of just like a
Yeah. So does he have a band?
yeah. I believe he has a band, a collection of folks from around Champaign that he
Okay.
performs with.
Okay. I wonder if he records with the band as well, and like if they have like their own like drummer and drum set and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Because this one sounded like a different kit. First of
That's
all,
what I thought too. Yeah.
yeah. It sounded like a different kit, and yeah, again they sound like super in sync and in pocket. So definitely jams. You guys are the core elements there. And yeah, you guys are just talented artists. Like you're doing a great job. Josh, what do you think about Vibes?
Yeah, vibes. Definitely, I like it. I would give it a green. I think I have more specifics. Not maybe impact vibes a little bit from production side, or even from sort of like like performance choices.
Go on
to
in.
some extent. Should I go into that?
Yes, do it.
All right. So the first thing that stuck out again is just the sonic profile immediately. A little bit high mids forward, a little bit cutting at certain points to where it was like there was one of the main guitar parts was just a little bit too loud in the mix compared to the other stuff.
Like a solo or
there were a couple points where the solo was just cutting out like way too far. Just gain is too high above the other stuff. Yeah, so partly the gain with that, but again, most of that volume issue was in the high mids. So there's a point where it's sort of like sharp kind of cutting. And interestingly, like the snare, there was the rim shot snare. Also, I felt like what actually was gain matched pretty well to the guitar, but everything else that existed in a frequency spectrum below that stuff, especially in like the low mids, was actually too low in the mix relative to those. So I mean, it's either like you turn one up and then they're even, or you turn one down, they're even.
Dude, I was going to say, where's the kick drum?
Yeah, so there's again, this is super common. We talk about it a lot, but the low mids and the low end are hard to get right, and I think it's just like it's probably the system that stuff's being mixed on or something, because there's like a ton of that high mid activity across all of the instruments, actually including the vocal too.
Yeah,
I thought there were frequencies that were a little bit biting in there, but it could also it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
So it could just be that the listening volume that we have it at is so we can hear the low end properly, which is often what people match their ear to.
Yeah.
But the low end is too low, and so then those high mids get boosted too high when the volume is turned up.
I see.
So it might just be that
the
system's showing something a little bit inaccurately to where you're taking too much low end out of the mix.
The system meaning what he's listening to.
Yeah.
Or whoever's mixing your stuff, Castlefin.
Yeah. We've talked about like, okay, well, even if the system has a lot of low end, that could make you compensate for the system having a lot and taking out low end. So it could be that kind of thing. A little bit hard to say. Maybe there's a sub on that and the bass brings a lot of sub through on that, but on any other system that doesn't have a sub, you can't hear that. And so it throws the whole mix of the balance of the mix off.
Yeah.
So that's possible. That was the thing that stuck out to my ear the most. In terms of like sort of content or arrangement, sort of like performance choices, I agree with Chris. All of the musicianship and locking together is super good here.
Yeah, that's drummers in pocket too.
Yeah, really good. That's the most important part by far.
I love
because everything else you can fix later in the box, but that stuff's great.
Yeah.
My one thing, there were a couple points where it felt like the vocal like pitches were a little bit uncertain of like where they wanted to go, sort of. Like I was sort of like left a little bit uneasier on the edge of like, where is this vocal? Like, what's the melody here? Where is it going? Because there'd be a pitch that sort of sounded like it was going to come back up to something, and it sort of half did or didn't. Yeah. And some wavering in pitch.
Yeah. It sounds like he wants to belt it. And I want him to belt it.
Maybe it's that. I just think it's like, I can't always tell what the melody is trying to do in the vocal because it's sort of wavering around a little bit too much. And I know some of it, of course, can be stylistic, but it's also a balance in style. So that, and then also with the guitar, I felt like there's one similar thing in like that last louder solo towards the end.
The Western one.
Yeah, towards the end of it when it went higher in the register.
Oh, higher. Okay, that's a different one. Okay.
I thought maybe it was at the end of that one, or maybe it was the one before that. But there was again sort of uncertainty about where the melody was going in that. It sort of just sounded like it was a collection of notes rather than a melody that tells a story or has a pattern to it or whatever. And some of that also manifests in like people can tell when you're not sure exactly where you're trying to go with a solo or a melody because then your timing also gets messed up. And like you sort of hit notes almost at random, and they're also not on the dot on the beat.
Yeah,
but they're also not arranged in a way that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So sometimes too, like just to push back a little bit on that, because like I don't know if he did it like an improv solo,
maybe, but like improv solos have logic to them too.
Yeah,
it's not
for
just
sure.
Notes
for sure. Yeah. I guess I'm trying to explain it. Maybe what could happen. Because it doesn't excuse
most of it. I thought was great,
sounding good. Yeah. I think most of it sounded good too. But there is, I give a little bit more freedom with solos because they tend to do kind of more wonky things in a solo. But I do think that, especially near the end, it kind of trailed off into like something that was a little bit offbeat, which I don't know if it was intentional or not, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is coming from the perspective of like me being a guitarist who does improv solos basically every day I'm alive.
Yep.
I just like, there's always got to be a direction that you're going and a reason for playing the notes that you're playing rather than just they're available to you. They're there. That can just be how you lead from one note to the next, like not making random jumps back and forth. You can make sequential jumps. Like there's a lot of solos that do wacky, weird shit, but there's a logic to it. There's a sequence, a musical sequence to it. So yeah, I mean, that wasn't most of it. That was only at certain points, but I just feel like there's a similarity between some of those guitar solos and some of the vocal melodies of being a little bit like not so certain in the direction that they wanted to lock in. So that's just a performance thing, but
yeah, be confident, go ham in where you're going, Kessel, because you guys got it.
Hell yeah.
So we definitely want to hear the confidence there. So in terms of traffic lights, content, what would you say, green or yellow?
Content, I would say chartreuse, because I think content counts as like performance choices and arrangement and writing. It's sort of like songwriting. So yeah, lemon lime, Sprite, lemon lime for content, and then also the same for production for me, because I think it's pretty much there. There's just like some sort of mix wide things that might be mediated pretty easily.
Yeah. For me, I'll go ahead and go vibes. I think you hit everything on the head, by the way. Vibes for me, yeah, this is a fucking jam, somber ass jam. This is like, you ever heard of the Christian side hug, where you like hug your friend, but it's from the side, so it's all PG, and you like funny. You want to sing it and like kumbaya. That's like the kind of vibe I got. Like you're wishing your friend a farewell and celebrating his life, like you said. Yeah. So it was a very nice vibe, very clean sounding. Which was kind of nice. The voice, the guitars, the bass line even, which I thought was weird because, I kind of, and Josh focused in too on the lower frequencies. I thought the bass line was at an okay level. I just, listening to the drums, because I am a drummer, I didn't hear like any of the kick. Like I heard like the high frequency, I guess, part of it, but it just seemed like if there's a low end that was just absent. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I got to hear that little boom, boom, boom in my headphones to really kind of jive with it. And even if it was missing, like I could hear the pocket that the hi-hats were swinging in, and that rim shot sound of a snare was really, really crunchy sounding. It was really nice. But yeah, the kick drum was just like absent, which was weird for me. So like I would try to change that. I think I would put that as like a production side yellow in addition to Josh's comments. In terms of the content, I would put it as lemon lime as well. Mirroring a lot of the comments of some of the solos and some of the vocal lines, where it just sounds like you want to go somewhere with it, but then you kind of hold yourself back. So I want to hear you, as a Castle Finn fan, I want to hear you go for it, because I believe that you can. Yeah. But yeah, overall track, I would say it's lemon lime.
Yeah. Oh, one more suggestion that I just remembered with production.
Yeah.
There's something happening on the vocal. It's almost like not. it's like one of those short, not like slapback delays, but there's
Is it
like
flanger?
it's almost. I think what we're hearing is the fact that there's like maybe a very short delay or reverb type thing that's very tight on the vocal that essentially copies it and places it a few milliseconds later.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like that slapback delay thing, but if it's too close together, it can introduce phasing issues. And that's what we were probably hearing.
It does kind of
flangery type thing. There are a couple points where it's like there's some weird processing that I don't think is supposed to be there on the vocal. And then there's other points where I hear clearly the effect of like the sort of room ambiance sound that seems like they're trying to do. Yeah. So I would just be careful with processing those kind of vocal effects and maybe making that effect that you're trying to achieve, if that's what it is, even more apparent by changing the delay time to be a little bit longer so that it separates the two and your brain can sort of deal with that and it doesn't introduce phasing issues.
Yeah, and it sounds more intentional.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like a John Lennon, like slapback delay vocal sound.
Or, I mean, more my speed, Baby Keem, you know?
Sure.
But okay. Yeah, so your overall track, where you at?
Overall track, I would say, just because there's some production stuff, it's also Lemon Lime Chartreuse.
Lemon Lime. For your second release, by the way, is still fucking crazy. I don't understand how you do it. But
yeah, this is very, very impressive.
Yeah. My second release was Garbage. You probably won't hear it. It's probably not online somewhere. It's definitely not on Spotify. But yeah, that was Castle Finn. When I See You Again. Thank you very much, bro. Love to have you on the stream, and I love your music. Jealous of Josh that he got to see you live and I didn't. So
no, I didn't. I missed.
Oh,
that
you
one.
didn't? Okay.
I saw.
We gotta definitely.
It's on the internet. I saw some of it online.
Okay.
But yeah, we want to hear more of your stuff.
More of Castle Finn. We are Castle fan over here.
Castle fans.
All right. Anyways, next song we got
thanks,
Soul, Unnamed.